Hello and welcome to Byte of Code. I am Mark, and today I'm going to show you how to make a music database. It's not really a database, but you're going to make a program that is going to have a list of song titles, and then they have like descriptions, and then you can add your own stuff to it. You can add your own image, so you can see the song, what album it's from, what year it's released, who made the song, stuff like that. So this is actually pretty easy, and this is highly array based, and I'll talk to you about arrays later on, but arrays are really cool. I say this is a beginner to intermediate program. The way I say beginner is because there's really not that much line of code, but intermediate because arrays are kind of confusing when you first start off. So first off, let's make a new project in Visual Studio. This is going to be in C#. We are going to name it, let's say, Music Database Program. Let this load, and then if you haven't seen my other video, then watch it if you want, but I'm going to briefly cover over everything again. So this is your form. This is what will run when you hit start. So when you launch your application, this is the stuff that shows. See, it's slightly different on here because this is for Windows 7 stuff, I think. So these are your tools on the left. This is all the stuff you can place on your program. On the right is your properties of your form. First thing we want to do is go up to the Solution Explorer, click on this form1.cs, rename this to form main or just form something, and then it's going to rename everything to form main. Hit yes when that shows up. So now your program is not going to be generic when people look at the source code, so it makes you look a little better. So now click back on the form, and then on the right side we can see the properties of our form main. Now over here is all the stuff you can change, add, and other stuff to your form. So we want to change this from form 1 to say like music database. So we find the text property, which is already highlighted apparently, and then we're just going to type in whatever we want our title to be, music database. So now it shows up here. So that's easy. That's all we have to do with this form property. Now we want to do is add a list box. If you mouse over it, it tells you what it does. It displays a list where you can put items in, and then you can do really cool stuff. So I'm actually going to make this this wide. And I kind of lied, but we're going to click on this form again, make sure it says form main, and then go back up to font, and we are going to change it. You can change it to whatever you want, but I like Segoy UI 11 point font. That makes everything look a lot nicer, but you can use any kind of font. I prefer Comic Sans, but don't use it in a professional level. So we have a list box. Prefer keep it this width, I think. I haven't tried it with this font. So keep it that width. We are going to try to match it up with the other side, kind of even it out. Maybe we can change it later. So we're going to click on this list box. You can see that's selected over here on the right on the properties. Scroll up until you see the name. We are going to change the name of this object. The toolboxes have lots of objects, and a list box is one of them. So we're changing the name of this object to be LTB. Sure, LTB. I forget what I usually name it, but this is a little shortcut for us to figure out later in the code everything to sort out. So LTB, and this is going to be our songs list. So now it shows up here. Whenever you run it, it won't show that, but in the editor, it just shows us the name. So this is what we have so far. So nothing. We are going to add a picture box. So you just type in picture box, you drag it over, try to make it the same length, and make it a square shape. So let's just go for that width. You can find the size property of the picture box. It goes width by length, I think. Yeah, width by length. So the last one's the length. And if you change it to the same value, it makes a perfect square. If you hit this little triangle here, it actually changes the size mode of the image. And we want stretch image. Okay, so now we're going to have a thing for a songs list and a thing for our pictures. Let me check the time here really fast. We're 6 minutes. We're going to do this really fast. So, song list, we have a picture box, which is going to be our album. So, rename this to pick album. And then we are going to add a series of labels. 1, 2, 3, 4 labels. I don't know why it inflatulated. That's the wrong word. But, you know. Okay, we're going to change the name of the first label to LBL name. This is going to be the name of the song. Actually, the song name, so we don't get that messed up. Now, you can tell that this name doesn't change whatsoever in this label, because whatever is displayed here is from the text property. So, we really don't want anything here to show up, so we can just backspace out of it and then it'll disappear. So we need another label. I probably shouldn't have done that for now, so let's just leave that there. Another label. Okay. I think I lined this up with the blue line earlier. Let's just double check. So try to make them all in the same space by lining up on the blue lines, so you know how far away they are. You can just really spread these out. It doesn't matter. So this is LBL. Let's do album. So what type of album? Then let's place another one. LBL. The artist. And one more. So wait until you see the blue. And then LBL. Release date. You can add more, but I can show you how later. So, if you want to make it look pretty right now, you can just put one at the, let's go to here. So you can place one at the ending spot and one at the beginning spot. Highlight all of them by dragging. Go up here to format, vertical spacing, and then make equal. So now they're all the same width apart. So now, we are going to make our program different from the other program. Instead of having a button we're going to press, we're actually going to click on an item in the list box. So in order to do that, just double click the list box and it'll open up the code. So this is some of the code that runs in your program. This is all the stuff you're going to change. Don't mess with this. This automatically runs the program. This is a event handler, so every time you select a different item, it will run code inside these curly brackets. So we don't have to worry anything about up here for now. We just have to worry about what's in here. So there goes my phone. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. So we need to find a way of how to detect which item you're grabbing. You clicked on first. So there's an easy built-in little method thing. So let's make an integer. We're going to name it what's a good name? So index selected. That's going to be equal to the list box and the selected index. Is that right? Okay. So whenever you click on an item in here, it's going to run this code, and it's going to set this variable equal to the index is from the item. I will explain that later, but right now it's going to be confusing. So if you click on the first item that's in here, it's going to give you a 0, because list boxes and arrays count from 0 to infinity. They don't start at 1. It's kind of weird, but it's actually pretty nice. So we have that. What else can we add? Actually, that's the only thing we need to add so far for that. Next thing we are going to add is our 2 arrays. One's going to be hella complicated, and the other one is going to be easy peasy. As long as you know what you're doing. Let's actually do the easy one first. I made it with the harder one first, but I say the easier one will be easier to pick up the harder one. So let's make a it's a weird object, but we are going to actually get a system drawing.bitmap array. Now this is going to be for your pictures. So in order to make an array, you need a object, or a class, sorry. You need these square brackets. You need to have a name for the array. So this is going to be array album art. So you have a name. So this is going to be equal to nothing right now. So that's pretty simple. So an array is basically a bunch of variables of the same data type in the same variable that you can call separately. It's weird, but it can help you expand your program without hard coding everything in. I can show you that later. So let's just say that we want an album of Smash Mouth. So let's just go for All Star, and I believe that's the album of Astro Lounge. So we somehow want that picture on this picture box. So in order to do that, we need to insert the picture into our resources, which is actually pretty cool, because when you export this program and give it to someone, it's in the actual program. It's not to a link to a image somewhere on your desktop. So this can be run anywhere, and you can show that thing. So all you have to do is just click on properties on the right side, and then on this left side, go to resources. And then at the top it says add resource, but we want to click down the drop down arrow and then do add existing file. So we click on here, we go to wherever we downloaded that cover art, we click on the image, so we have this, and then make sure to save it, because if you don't save it, then it won't detect. And then let's go back to our form main.cs, and let's add that to our array. So we type in system.drawing.bitmap. Wait, no, sorry. System. No. It's whatever you call the application. So up here at the top left. So it will be music database program dot properties dot resources dot whatever that image is called. So congratulations, you have your first array. In order to call this array, we are going to do something fancy with this index number and this array. So I'm thinking, I probably shouldn't have done it this way. Yeah, just do all your album art right now. Fill in all of it, and then just get back.